Welcome again to another video devotional here at Calvary Baptist Church of Burbank. Today I want to talk about waiting on the Lord. It's a topic that is, I think, very misunderstood. We're probably familiar with one verse in particular that speaks of this. In Isaiah 40, verse 30 and 31, he says, "Even youths shall faint and be weary, young men shall fall exhausted. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run, not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." That verse has led to many songs, many memes, many pictures of eagles with Bible verses written on top. It's particularly well known. And yet, though we like the verse and though we share it and use it and reference it, very few people, seemingly, as far as I can see, tend to fully understand what it means to wait on the Lord. I think a lot of this is because in many of our church cultures, we have the concept of waiting on the Lord being that we are sitting there empty, as it were, waiting for God to give us something. So we don't know what to do, so we're going to wait on the Lord, so to speak. So what should we do about this today? I don't know, let's wait on the Lord. So we often use the expression in that kind of way. And the idea is that we don't really know what to do, so we're going to wait for God to somehow tell us, and we're waiting on him for that. That, unfortunately, has precious little to do with what the Bible is talking about here. In fact, it's probably got more in common with Eastern mysticism, the idea that we would kind of sit cross-legged and go, and just kind of wait for God to just drop a thought or something into our heads. That's not what it's speaking of. That kind of waiting to get something we don't have is not what Isaiah is speaking about. I think it becomes clearer if we were to look at Psalm 130. Where it says, "Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. O Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my pleas for mercy. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, O Lord, who could stand? But with you there is forgiveness, that you may be feared. I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than for watchmen for the morning, more than watchmen for the morning. O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with him is plentiful redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his iniquities." What we have here in the middle of this psalm is the expression, "I will wait for the Lord. My soul waits, and in his word I hope." And there is this waiting that is spoken of. And either side of that waiting, we have references to the character of Yahweh, the character of God, the character of the Lord. And the psalm begins with this lamenting and this crying, "Out of the depths I cry to you, let your ears be attentive." And so there is this crying out to God, and then there is a reminder of who God is. And then there is this waiting before, again, there is this declaration of the steadfast love, the covenant-keeping love of God. And waiting comes in the middle of who God is. So you see, waiting is not really, well, I'm going to wait and see what God will say, or wait and see what God will do. I need to get something I don't already have. But rather, waiting on the Lord is almost the exact opposite. That God has already given, that we already have the revelation that we need. We're not waiting for him to reveal something, but rather we have had the revelation of his character, of who he is. And we wait for him, and we trust in him because of who he is. And so the psalmist cries out to God, cries that God would hear, then reminds himself of the character of God so that he can be satisfied waiting until such time as God chooses to act. And that is the renewing of strength that is spoken about. It's not a renewing of strength that comes with God somehow providing something he hasn't already provided, or revealing something he hasn't revealed, but rather there is in Isaiah this understanding of I am not going to fear. I am going to trust in God. And because of who he is, because of his character, I can rest in him and I can wait on him. And I trust that he will do what needs to be done in the way it needs to be done at the time that he will do it. And that is a place where we get our strength renewed. Not because circumstances have changed, not because information has been given, but because we have reminded ourselves of who God is. And there, in that place, as we behold him and behold his glory, as we spoke about last time, as we do that, we find strength. That, my friends, is what it means to wait upon the Lord.